Hi, tiny people that live in my computer. I'm Finn, and today I'm talking about a traumatic experience that happened yesterday. When this comes out, it's been a couple weeks removed from the situation, and I'm no longer living here, so I am safe. But thank you for any positivity that you put in the comments of this. To start, the people involved were me, my cousin who was 15, my mother, not my mother, my grandmother, I call her my mother because I've lived here forever, my father, and that is it. There were 3 other people who viewed said situation but were not a part of it. My grandma pulled in from work, saw my father, and went up to him and very softly, very gently, very respectfully said, "I'm tired of being disrespected." To which he responded, "I'll show you fucking disrespect," before blowing up at her, starting to scream, using curse words every other word. And within maybe 2.5 seconds, he had started shoving at her. Shoving on his, I believe, 59-year-old mother. Myself and my cousin, a 19-year-old and a 15-year-old, got between them. Well, not like shoving them apart, but like in the way best we could, considering he is a short but stout male. He's not in his prime, but he's not like degraded, and he holds like multiple state track records, multiple state strongman records, stuff like that. So he's not exactly the weakest person to push back on, and it's like, this is uncool. So we got in the way, and me and my cousin were both at this point yelling at him, specifically yelling to get his hands off of his mother. I couldn't say what the quote of anyone other than myself and him because I was paying attention to his words and mine. Their quotes after the initial interaction I could not tell you. But my words were, "Get your fucking hands off of her," because he was shoving at her and at one point had grabbed at the at her shirt on her left side. I don't know what his plan was at that point with that grip, but I knew that it wasn't going to be something positive, so I moved his hand. During this, my cousin had put her hand up to push him back. She did not throw a fist at him. She did not slap at him or scratch. She went to push him, at which he basically grabbed her hand and pushed it back at her, and intentionally or not, smacked her really hard in the jaw twice. Currently her face is swelled up from it, so it's not like it was a baby little tap. It was enough to make her face swell up, enough to be physically visible and also be painful and slightly irritated back here where it is a different coloration. Which then prompted my grandmother and I to pursue him more than before due to harming said child. At this point, he looked to me after I had told him to just leave and stop. And I ended up typing it because I don't know if I have I don't want to get it wrong. I don't want to misquote it. Is it here? "Stay out of this, boy," whilst screaming in the middle of cursing and screaming and shoving at everybody. Just one hard "stay out of this, boy," which caused me to freeze. Caused me to freeze in place, caused me to blink, caused me to not speak, not move, hardly breathe, caused the fist that I had built to my sides to drop into regular, just resting hands, caused my heart rate to skyrocket, caused me to forget where I was for a minute, and reminded me of a time when I was younger where legally I did not belong here with my grandmother. However, I did not legally belong with him, as he had just gotten out of jail and blah 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 blah. The TLDR of that story is he legally kidnapped me, and the same quote of "stay out of this, boy" came up when he was fighting her. Then, what I believe to be 8 years ago, give or take a little bit. So I've learned that I have some trauma there, which is awesome. But yeah, I now know that when somebody yells "boy" at me, I freeze, which is great. He continued to berate her verbally, not doing anything physical at anything beyond this point. And then she told him to leave, to which he responded, "I have 30 days, eviction, garbage." So then he took off for the road, and as his girlfriend was backing out of the driveway, my grandmother had told her not to come back, to which he turned around and jumped over the ditch, sprung up, and jolted over before getting in her face, not using his hands, just bowing up over her. Fuck you this, fuck you that, burn in hell this, you're a bitch that, you get it? Before he then went on his rant about, "I have 29 more days, and and blah 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 blah, I'll come back for my shit, and fuck you, and you're a bitch, and fuck you, and burn in hell, and fuck you." Then he left again. And I haven't slept since. Because I'm paranoid and terrified and scared for myself, scared for the people that live here, scared for my future, scared for everybody's safety, scared for anything that I own, scared for my vehicle. I'm not conscious, really. Everything hurts. Yeah. I stayed up all night with my door open, just staring out, waiting for noise to happen. Then I had a phone call with Amadon. That was productive, I guess. And since then I've just been sat here, I guess. Yeah, I've just been sat here, listening and hoping not to hear anything. I really liked learning that I have trauma with him. Like, I've always known I have trauma with him, but it was fun learning that I just stop existing. That's fun. Never knew that was a thing. I'm usually really good at confrontation. Usually when I'm in a thing with confrontation, I do pretty well. So that was weird. I usually am very calm and level-headed and able to control myself really well. Don't know what the difference is. Some trauma thing. Couldn't tell you what it is. I'm not some sort of... I don't know what I'm talking about. I'm just here. But that is a thing that happened. That happened October 28th at, like... I don't know. Here, I could... How my year? Where is it? Ow. Okay. It was at about 5 o'clock. But yeah, I've had a great day or so. And then all of today has been spent and probably will be spent with me just like listening closely, afraid to watch TV or listen to music or do anything productive, as I want all of my attention on that because I don't want him snooping through people's stuff. He has a history of stealing things and pawning it so that he can go buy meth. He has a history of breaking things that belong to people so that they cannot have them. Recently, he stole a vehicle that belongs to his mother on, I think it's 29 separate occasions, all of which he did not have a key. As I had the key, he was hot-wiring it using a screwdriver, alongside stealing her trailer to use it for work that he didn't do, alongside pawning a lot of expensive tools and stuff. And there's going to be 2 or 3 people that go, Finn, if he did these illegal things, why have you not called the police? To answer your question, there was a thing set where a couple weeks ago he was arrested for having 5.7 grams of methamphetamine alongside a bunch of pipes, him already being a felon, 4 times over, I believe, with a deep history of violent felonies and drug charges and whatnot. And he was arrested for that. And instead of having a bond that was set for money, there was a bond where somebody had to come and sign it that was set up by their lawyer. I don't know his name. I was going to try to make a joke about his name, but I don't know it, and I don't want to accidentally get it right, because lawyers always have, a stereotypical name. But my grandmother went up there and signed him out, which I very much disagreed with at the time and still do. And then he got out, and if he gets arrested, or if he does anything bad with the law, or he doesn't show up to his parole or whatever, then she owes them, I think it's $2,500, that we do not have, as we are very much paycheck to paycheck, and then at the end of the month, it's here's a couple days where there's 5 days with 0 in every bank account. So we cannot afford to give them $2,500. I very much advised that was a terrible plan to go sign him out. Still happened, and now we're here. So that's why I have not called the police. That is why my cousin, who suffered the worst of the whole ordeal, has not called the police. That is why my grandmother has not called the police. So that's why that didn't happen before somebody's like, well, this is fake because of this and this and this. No, there are other people who can account to this, but I don't need that. We have transparency here. My point being, I am not okay right now. I'm probably going to take a couple days to just breathe. Soon I am moving in with Amidon, which will be fucking awesome. I'm itching a scab that I have on my thigh, so my apologies if that audio picks up. So yeah, I have videos backlogged for a little bit, not for a long time, so I will have to start making stuff again sometime soon. When this comes out, I probably have a couple things ready by then. Thank you for your time. Anybody who has anything positive to say, please and thank you. Negativity is not what I need right now. If you have anything positive at all, even if it's something that has nothing to do with me, if it's you had fun at dinner yesterday because you ate your favorite food, just give me something positive to feed off of, please. And thank you. Thank you guys so much for all of the support, not only here, but just in general on content whenever it comes to the comments and the sharing and the liking and everything. And for 500 subs, thank you. Next is 1,000. But thank you guys so very much for everything you've given me, everything you've allowed me to do, and for everything that you will continue to allow me to do. I deeply appreciate it. Thank you guys so much. And know that I and my family are safe, and we appreciate anything you have to say. Thank you.